Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching Boom Clack, the political vigilante making Gotham great again. Thank you to everybody that came out to see Ron Placone and I in Portland, Seattle, and Vancouver, Canada. It was amazing, and it was really great to meet all of you. I talk a lot about climate on this show, and we're in a record drought here on the West Coast of the U.S., and I saw it on that tour. Ron Placone and I drove Portland, record heat, 95 degrees. Seattle, 95. Vancouver, Canada, 95 degrees. And we drove all the way up there. Portland to Seattle, Seattle to Vancouver. And it was dry. I mean, I've never seen it that dry. And I spent a summer in Portland, Oregon after my freshman year of college, because my mom used to live there. I never saw Portland get over 80, 85 degrees. I mean, 85 was like crazy for summer weather in Portland. And now we've consistently had several summers in a row where it's 95, 100, 100 and some degrees. And it is bone dry. And it is a tinderbox. Like it is right now, I think there's only fires in California, and I hope it stays that way. But this is a dangerous situation. And this article that just came out in Bloomberg talks about, I'll just give you the title right here. The end of snow threatens to upend 76 million American lives. This is in Bloomberg. So this article is going to go into, I just want to give you, for those of you who aren't familiar with this part of the world, in the Western states, most of the Western states don't get a lot of rainfall in the summer. In the winter, they get all the rain and it's snow and it's snowpacks and it stays on the mountains. And then it's like a cooler for water. And then in the spring and the summer, it starts to melt off. And that's how the Western states have always gotten their water. Well, thanks to climate change that was, man-made, United States military is the number one polluter in the world. And we just sent $60 billion to Ukraine rather than address this. And Joe Biden has got some, biggest climate plan ever. Well, there's a caveat by that. There's never been any climate anything. So whatever they're doing in this watered down bill that helps fossil fuel companies and does it's more incremental centrism. It's just a slightly bigger increment so they can say victory, but it's not. There's $370 billion. Congress is already getting ready to approve an $840 or $880 billion, some atrocious number for war. So this is a real issue. And there's 76 million people that are affected by this. And all these major cities, Salt Lake City, Phoenix, San Francisco, Los Angeles. I mean, these are huge population centers. Disappearing snowpack is accelerating the historic drought across the Western United States. And so far, government responses haven't matched the scale of the problem. Well, that's shocking. Geez, our government is right on the case. We take care of it. When the economy had to be shut down because of once in 100-year pandemic, we gave all of this money to Wall Street. We gave American citizens some stimulus money, but it helped some people. It helped a little bit for some people, but a lot of people, it wasn't enough. But we got money to send for war. We got money for Wall Street bailouts. And this climate plan is just, they're all talking about, this isn't enough. I'm sorry. This is why I voted for Bernie Sanders in the 2016 primary. And after the Democrats cheated for him, I cheated against him to get rid of him. I voted for Jill Stein because she had an actual climate policy, unlike Hillary Clinton, that just wanted to drop more bombs just like Trump. And this is the problem I have with the Democratic Party. The Republicans are just flat out climate deniers. And the Democrats say, we're going to do something about it. And they do barely anything. This is going to take drastic trillions of dollars in top-down sweeping legislation and a global effort. What's America doing? Oh, we're sending Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan to provoke China into a war too. Oh, and China just started shooting rockets near Taiwan today. Shocker. Who saw that coming? We provoked Russia into this ridiculous proxy war in Ukraine, which is only going to ruin Ukrainian lives. It's not going to prevent or promote democracy. It's not nonsense. It's just the military industrial complex making profit. There's real problems happening. right here in America. And why are we spending all this money and provoking all these wars? We should be working with China and Russia right now going, hey, we're the three big superpowers on the planet. We have all the money and the resources. We need to collectively figure out how to stop climate change, because you're not going to be able to run from it. You can't shoot a rocket. You can't get a drone strike. And climate change doesn't care if you believe in it or not. It's coming no matter what. Droughts, fires, floods, they don't care. They don't care if you believe in it or not. There's a huge McKinley fire, which is only, as of today, only 10% contained in California. People have already died. They've had to evacuate, and they give evacuation orders, and sometimes it's not enough time because the fire moves so rapidly. We've had record droughts, so the whole Western United States and Canada is just tinder. But let's get back to the snowmelt, which is specifically exacerbating this, the lack of snowmelt, rather. That snowmelt, often traveling hundreds of miles from mountaintop to tap, sustains the booming desert communities of Las Vegas, Phoenix, Salt Lake City, even coastal Los Angeles and San Francisco. So like when I, in California, like, oh, we have a drought, and then we have a big snowstorm in the winter, big rain in the low-lying areas, but the higher elevations get snow. It's like, oh, good, we need that snowpack for next year's water supply. I want to show you some photos that were in the article. So this is Lake Tahoe. This is the Sierra Nevada mountain range, which is a big mountain range through California and even up through Oregon and Washington. So this is just April of 2019. This is 3 years ago. Okay. So this is April, right? And there's still a lot of snowpack. And this is the thing. Ron Placone and I just saw, we were driving up to Seattle and we saw there was still snow on Mount Rainier, but there's another mountain up there that I forget. And it was like almost bone dry. I'm like, that's not good. That's a thing, man. Lake Tahoe. I mean, these mountain ranges, the mountain range, Mount Hood, Mount Rainier in the Pacific Northwest, they've always had snow on them year round. I first time I ever went skiing was Mount Hood in the summer, but not anymore. So this is just 3 years ago. This is this year. Look at this. This means, and this is just this section, there's California, just this section of California. That's just California. But it's basically like this: Oregon, Washington, even into British Columbia, Utah. This is not good. So not enough water for crops. Not enough water for basic stuff. Drinking water. Doing the dishes. I mean, dangerously high temperatures in the Pacific Northwest and California's deadly McKinley fire flung the western states' changing climate back into the national spotlight past this week. With the Southwest gripped by its worst drought in 1,200 years. And people, climate change deniers go, well, see, it's cyclical. This just happens. But we still should be doing something about it. And there's no way you can burn all these fossil fuels and it's not, that's making this worse. But even if you want to make the argument, oh, climate change is a bunch of liberal hooey, this is still bad. It does, again, this let me tell you something. This mountain range lack of snow doesn't give a shit if you believe in climate change or not. This is the reality. You can argue why it happened, which is just dumb. The earth is round, by the way. It's not flat. Climate change is real. But this is the reality we have right now, today, right now. So the crops that don't have enough water because there's not enough snow, they don't care if you believe in what caused it or not. They don't care. The fires that are created, look what are the other things I've talked about on this show recently. We've had a bunch of record temperatures across the country. And because of record drought, we've had, like this happened in Dallas, the soil gets so dry and brittle. And then the water main pipes, which most of the country's water pipes are in the neighborhood of 70 to 90 years old. Like we haven't updated anything. We spent $10 trillion on the global war on terror that has done nothing to stop terrorism. You'd think $10 trillion in 20 years, terrorism would be over. Done. There's no more terrorists. No, it's worse than ever. But because we spend money on war and bombing poor people, and we don't spend money on our own citizens, the drought and heat from climate collapse made these water mains break. So now what little water we have, we're wasting on broken mains. Worst drought in 1,200 years. There's less precipitation of any kind these days across the region, especially the crucial frozen variety with its multi-month staying power. And people just think, oh, well, if we get more rain, we'll be okay. Well, that can kind of help, but not the way snow does. Rain, as desperately as it's needed, isn't quite the same. Unless it goes into a lake or reservoir, it won't be available for weeks or months in the future the way snowmelt can be. Basically, this is an ice box that we can then pull out and it melts, and then we use for our water supply. But now there's less of it. Look at this. Western snowpack has shrunk by 23% since 1955. This is just basically the northern part, because you get into Southern California and Arizona, they don't have a lot of snowpack mountains. But this part of the country, okay, anything, these colors, so this is 25% if it's kind of yellow, the orange is 50, the red is 75, and the rust color, well, the 0 to 25 is yellow, 25 to 50 is orange, 50 to 75 is red, and 75 and up is, and these are plus. So there's some areas that have plus, but you can see overall snowpack has shrunk. This is the water supply. Look at this. Look at these major city centers: Denver, Salt Lake, Boise, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle. And again, even LA is affected. Vegas is right down here. Phoenix is right here. And there's a lot of agriculture in here too. what did they say? 76 million people are affected by this. Where are they going to go? Move to Kentucky where they're having record floods? No, I can't go there. Where's everybody going to go? So they offer some of the solutions they talk about is in the coastal cities, they need more desalination plants, which is something they've had some success with in the Middle East. Early desalination from 20 years ago, I had read, was like not great for the environment because there's a lot of microorganisms in the ocean that get destroyed. Apparently there's newer technology that says that it doesn't have as negative an impact. I'd like to read some more studies on that. I don't know. But so we got to find solutions, and they got to happen now. They have to be big. What are we going to do state by state? It doesn't matter state, but again, climate change doesn't care that this state doesn't agree with it doesn't care. It doesn't care. Oh, this is a red state. That's a blue state. So that means one of those states is going to have more or less drought, and that doesn't matter. Outside desalination plants, there are other possible solutions available for dwindling snows, although whether they're up to the scale of the problem is hotly debated. The Pacific Institute, for example, estimates that greater water efficiency efforts could cut California's urban water as much as 48%. Increased wastewater recycling could also play a part. Now, I'm a huge proponent of that as well, because I remember in 2015, we had like 4 or 5 years of drought, and then Governor Jerry Brown did this big statewide effort to reduce everybody's water usage. And we cut our water in a matter of months by like 20%, which was significant for a state of 45 million people. We need to do so. This is a big problem that's going to take a bunch of solutions. Every one of these states needs to implement catching rainwater, not just letting it go into a drain, like capturing as much rainwater as possible. I mean, whatever the solutions out there, waterless urinals. I mean, let's get a bunch of smart people in the room and figure this out, because there's already solutions out there. Again, as I talk about with climate, there's solutions are there. They need mass adoption. Unfortunately, we need a top-down solution. We need the federal, I hate to say this, we need a big mandate. Oh, that's what it's going to take, everybody. Just, hey, you individual Americans, stop watering your lawn as much. Come on. Hold these big corporations accountable. Hey, Vegas, hey, Bellagio Hotel, no more fountain. You get a laser light show. You can give the audience that. No more fountain. You don't have a fountain in the middle, a massive 100 million gallon fountain or whatever it is in a desert, right? We need to recycle wastewater. We need to do so much stuff. In LA, when it rains, they just pump it all out into the ocean, like capture it. And there's this one in Santa Monica called the SMURF, the Santa Monica Urban Runoff Facility, where it captures rainwater, cleans it, and puts it back into the water supply. Great. Let's do that all over the place. It does two things. One, you stop putting all these pollutants in the ocean where surfers like me can't surf for 48 to 72 hours. You're not supposed to surf for up to 72 hours after it rains in LA, right? Because of the runoff. So we're not polluting the ocean, and we're reusing it, and we're capturing that water and using it. We should capture every drop. And maybe desalinization is also a solution as well. So we need to come up with a lot of big solutions. And I got to be honest with you, I've been pretty critical of Joe Biden, but I think lately, he's come up with some real solutions. This is what he said on Twitter today. More than half of all gas stations across the United States now offer gas for less than $4 a gallon. Boom, we did it. Build back better. Oh man, did we just build back? We just built back so better. We have so much building back bettering. It's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, I want to say top 3 presidents of all times in terms of like famous speeches and getting stuff done. FDR, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. He got us the New Deal, got us out of the Depression, and helped us defeat the Nazis. So that was amazing. JFK, although he was only in office for like 2.5 years, said we don't go to the moon and do other things because they're easy. We do them because they're difficult. And even after he died, we went to the moon because he said he was going to get us there by the end of the decade. That was bold, visionary thinking. And then, of course, number 3 is Joe Biden saying, I got cheap gas, and, here's a buy one, get one hot dog at all these gas stations. Just use coupon code Corn Pop. So I rest easy, guys. JoJo's got it. Yeah. This is why I was not happy when he got elected. I'm glad Trump's gone, but now it's like, if Trump would have been president, we'd all be dead due to climate collapse. We'd go extinct by the year 2040. But JoJo cutting gas prices, we're going to live to 2045, maybe 2047. That's huge. That's big. That's the kind of incremental centrist democracy, the stuff that we need. Bold tweets like, gas is cheap, guys. Thanks, Joe. God, I feel so much build back bettered. I'm so building back bettered that I think I can't. I don't think I can handle any more build back bettering. I've been build back bettered so much in the 2 years he's been in office that it's the most build back. I mean, everything's built back better, so we're done. So go fix it, guys. Don't worry about all this stuff. Democrats are in control. Yep, Nancy Pelosi just is flying to Taiwan to provoke people. Her husband just sold tech stock or whatever. They're corrupt, whatever. And the Republicans are Nazis. So those are our choices, guys. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. That's what I'm here for. And shave your knuckles for justice. Thanks for watching.